Business, Frank D. Filippo.
Absolutely not. It's nobody's business but theirs.
Georgia Gosley.
Well, America likes a real-life soap opera.
Carl Snowden.
Well, it's really a question of integrity and character. Yes, the American people's business.
And John Lofton.
The presidency, Richard, is not a private matter, and if this guy's an adulterer, then he should not be president of the United States.
We will take a look at the Clinton affair and the state of our union tonight on Square Off, following these important messages right here on Channel 13. Hurry on back.
If you haven't had your GM car serviced at Boyle Buick lately, try us for a change. Boyle Buick service, it's a big job and we love to do it.
Yabba dabba doo, they're here! America's favorite cartoon characters in Ice-Capades.
The giant WJZ-TV Family Night at the Ice-Capades is 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, February 19th at the Baltimore Arena. Go to any Giant store to get half-price coupons. Then pick up the tickets at the Baltimore Arena. On Family Night, bring a canned good to feed the hungry. Your can make a difference. For details, call 347-2010.
Monday, get ready to move fast at Circuit City's 9-hour after inventory sale. There's not much time to save on video, audio, and appliances. Like this sharp 19-inch TV with remote, just $209.97. And this VCR with remote, only $154.97. All stores open at noon, but hurry, because Monday night at 9, the Circuit City 9-hour sale stops.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Square Off again. Here we are in our 16th year, and what can I tell you? Nice Saturday night. It is.
Well, how about a raise? You can tell us we're getting a raise.
John, you'll get a raise. I think you make enough. Look what it's done for you, John.
That's right.
Made you exhausted, and the front of your truck is falling off. What can I tell you?
Raise at one time.
Hey, we have watched the news this week, and you saw Bill and Hillary Clinton on 60 Minutes last Sunday night. You saw them talking about right after the Super Bowl. Then you saw Jennifer Flowers later on in the week playing those tapes, the audio tapes of their alleged conversations. What do you think about all of this? And here we go again. John, your comment.
Well, first of all, I feel like we have to inject the word allegedly, every other word. I mean, I think the guy's caught. I think he more or less, without saying so in that interview, admitted that he committed adultery and that it's been smoothed out between, or amongst, which is it?
Between the two of them.
Yeah, which is terrific. I hope that they have. I hope that he's repented for this sin. But I think that whether or not a person keeps his or her wedding vows is a very important question of their character, and that a person who would violate his wedding vows would also lie to the American people. It's a character issue. It's a character issue.
All this proves is that candidates come and go, but sex is here to stay. Franklin D. Roosevelt had an affair. Yeah. So did John F. Kennedy. Right. So did Lyndon Baines Johnson. Jimmy Carter even lusted in his heart. Did it affect their presidency?
Well, of course it did. I think all of them. I think all of them stunk as presidents, and it would have been better if they'd have never been in the White House. And you sound like you're almost making adultery a condition of employment for president.
No, the criteria.
It's not just sex; it's adultery, Frank.
The criterion is, does it interfere with their job?
No, excuse me. No. Look, John, let me tell you something about the founders of our country. The founders of our country, George Washington. Excuse me. Yes, you do. The founders of our country said
Thomas Jefferson was one, and he was an adulterer.
The founders of our country said that personal morality, virtue, and ethics were central to our form of government. For you to poo-poo this shows you don't know anything about the founders of our nation.
I happen to come from the city of Annapolis, and there's a joke about George Washington having slept all over Annapolis.
That's a lie.
Well, you call it a lie.
It is a lie.
There's no question.
Let's not talk about the George Washington joke.
Wait a minute. The point I'm making is that there's no question. Since the first president of the United States, there have been allegations of adultery, infidelity, etc. And the fact of the matter is, if adultery alone would be a reason to negate somebody from being president, I'm afraid that many of our presidents would have never been president.
Good, they should have been.
A public known fact. But I go back to what Frank said. The fact of the matter is, if in fact George Washington had been involved, Thomas Jefferson, some of these founding fathers in infidelity, did it affect their presidency? I said no. Let me tell you what my problem with Clinton is, though. My biggest problem with Bill Clinton comes down to a question of integrity. I think if, in fact, he lied to the American people...
That's the issue.
Oh, I
he
see.
should not be
If he lied to
president.
his wife, that's not an issue.
But the fact of the matter is, millions of Americans are engaged in infidelity.
So what?
And engaged
Doesn't make it
in
right.
that kind of
It
activity.
doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. But my
do?
point about it is, as far as I'm concerned, if he and his wife have reconciled it, as far as I'm concerned, that's their private business. But on the other hand, let me just make my point, John.
Yeah.
First of all, I think all presidents who've been president, and all the men who will be president are women. I think because infidelity in our society is such a media hype, American public wants a soap opera. The fact that he might have, in no question in my mind, that he was involved with this gorgeous young lady, that, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't have anything to do with his ability to...
He broke his word to the American people.
I agree.
That's a question of integrity. I think he lied to the American people.
What about my question?
I'm responding to your question. I think there are people who've committed adultery and who have went through the process of repenting and have made a contribution to our society. There are millions of people, very famous people in our society.
So it does have
who
to do with
engage in
integrity.
Now,
Sure, it
Frank,
does.
No, the point I'm making, just to clarify it, John, is
And
that
Georgia.
my point is, as long as it does not interfere with his functioning on the job.
You can't separate a man's personal character from his job, Frank.
That has
You
nothing to-
can't separate a person's character from their job. You can't have this public-private
John,
crap.
let me just make my response. I don't know
Can't
why
do it.
everybody is so outraged about it. If you want to start talking about polls, I think polls will show that a majority or a substantial number of married men do stray from the marital bed.
that's a
The
lie.
fact
That's
that they
not
do,
true.
let me tell you, they not only stray from the marital bed, they stray from the marital bed, and 9 times out of 10, it's the woman who keeps the marriage together, and then they repent and they go right back out and do it again.
Actually,
so
but
you
for the-
find somebody
excuse me, for
who
the
can
record-
stand up and honestly say, I have not strayed from the marital bed. They've been married over
well,
10, 15 years. Odds are they're lying. So it's no big thing. The question is, can he run the country? And
Look,
right
I
now,
think-
I'll take him over Bush any day.
I think the question is whether or not I can get in a word edgewise here.
Well, you
John,
dominated the show.
polls
Can
are-
I make a statement?
The polls show that the overwhelming majority of men in their marriages do not commit adultery.
That
You're
is
just
not what the
wrong.
polls show.
You're just
That is
wrong.
not what the
Maybe
polls
you'd
show.
like to hope that they're
No,
adulterous.
I don't
That'll make you
condone
feel
it. I
better.
don't condone it,
Oh,
but
sure.
let me
Do
tell
you
you something.
condemn it?
I do not
Do you
condone
condemn
it.
it?
No, I do condemn it. But the reality is they do it. They've been
no,
doing
I
it,
like
and
the
they're going to
reality.
Hold
continue
it.
to do it.
Carl.
I get so sick and tired of us putting
Quiet,
the
John,
American
and Georgia.
presidency on some pedestal. We should have learned from Watergate. We know that these men are human beings
They're human
who are
beings.
subject to mistakes, and they make errors. We know that presidents lie to people. We know that.
Yeah.
We heard the Union, just recently, the State of the Union. And I think that 90% of the people who heard that don't believe that what George Bush was
but
saying
all I'm saying
was
is
accurate.
condemn it,
But
don't condone it.
But I am condemning
Don't
it.
poo-poo it. No, you've poo-pooed the
no.
adultery issue.
What
You
I'm-
have poo-pooed
John,
it, and you've poo-pooed
John,
it,
what-
and you've pooed
No, the
it.
question
John,
here
I am
is whether
trying-
he's fit to be president,
John.
overriding all of what we're
John.